This is the conscious experience.
For the ancestors, okay?
Ancestors. That's
right.
what I like to hear that. I like to hear that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conscious experience. Let me give you the mouse. This is the conscious experience. I am the humble host of the show. Yes, we are recording, ladies. We just like to do it spontaneous like this. And this is episode 64. And if you don't know my name, I go by the name of Therese. And as always, I got my right-hand man. He's in the cut. The co-host of the show, B-Lab, is in the building. What's goody?
Oh, you clicked it? Hey, okay, I see myself. What's good, everybody?
Yes. And today is a very special episode because we have some special people.
Very special.
Show. Very special. All right, let me get into it. I did a little bit of homework.
I see the
research.
highlight. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
You know. But I have to change the fifth to the fourth, right? Okay. You know what I'm talking about. Inside joke? You don't get it?
Ah, yeah.
Grand opening?
Let it roll. Let it
Yeah,
roll.
all right.
Let it roll.
That's so for it.
All right, so I am going to start with the young lady right across from me. She is the founder of Hands of Light Holistic Healing Spa.
Shit, wait, let me get the camera on the boom. All right.
She has a license in massage therapy and a certification in, now I hope I don't butcher this, but Reiki. Jesus, okay, Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
Reiki healing, and you can find her pushing, guiding several barefoot individuals while doing a intuitive guide through the deep trails in Dallas on any given day. Introducing the GOAT, the one and only Mia. How are you doing today?
I am blessed. Thank you for having me here.
Of course. Welcome on the show. It's a pleasure. I'm so excited. All right, we got a second guest in the building. Oh, yeah. Bam.
Hello.
Now, most importantly, she's a magician. That's the most important thing on the show. She's a magician who owns her own business, also known as K Naturals, LLC, right? And she's the co-owner of Hands of Light Holistic Healing Spa. Kayla, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm feeling good.
Hey,
I'm feeling good.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. So first of all, I just want to say congratulations on the grand opening.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's huge, and I also love the numbers that you guys open on 444. Shout out to the ancestors. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to the ancestors.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice vibe. I mean, not only is it encouraging, but it's also inspiring to see women, and not only women, but women of color.
Yes, black women.
Right. Be able to have a business that serves a positive service out to the community. I mean, that is absolutely amazing. And the fact that you guys are so young and have barely scratched the surface of your life potential, you already, accomplished so many wonderful things. It's absolutely amazing. And I'm honestly inspired. I mean, I'm about to go in tears right now. That is absolutely amazing. Let me ask you a question. How did you guys develop the confidence and the consistency to become such successful entrepreneurs?
Honestly, there was just no other choice. It was a calling. Yes, it was a calling for sure.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And so with that calling, was there ever a time where fear and doubt crept in, or was it just you guys knew exactly what you wanted to do and you guys had a plan on achieving that?
Well, with me, I felt like I was kind of like forced into just. I felt like I was kind of just forced into like following my path and like what my heart was desiring.
Right.
But I was nervous because like we don't come from a family of entrepreneurs.
Mm.
We do not. So it was kind of nervous to even think so big like that.
Right.
But it just happened. It just happened. Like what started for me was, man, I can take it all the way back to just me deciding and committing to like going vegan.
Right.
And just like starting with that level of change, that just led to everything else.
Like discipline, everything like
everything
that.
else.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. That's awesome. And for you, ma'am? I forgot to. It's in the moment. One thing I want to ask you, like, how did you develop the confidence, and was there any time where you were fearful and doubtful of accomplishing what you accomplished with the business, forming it and stuff?
Right, that's a deep question.
Yeah,
Because like,
It
I was
takes me
like,
back.
how far should I go back with
Right.
it?
Yeah,
right.
it takes
Go-
me
Yeah,
back.
Hey, we got
and-
time.
we got time.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
it takes me back to when, it's taken me like 4 years to get to where I am now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of fear that I had to overcome.
Right.
Just like Kayla said, we are the first entrepreneurs in our family.
Mhm.
And I was also amongst one of the first to take on holistic healing.
Mhm.
And it did start for me as well with veganism, deciding to be vegan.
Right.
And making that decision for myself changed a lot. It awakened me to myself and my higher self.
Right.
And that really began the journey of my healing.
Mhm.
And through my journey of healing, I was able to become more sensitive to just my gifts, my light, and who I am, and that deeper sense of purpose.
Right.
And when I began to, just begin cultivating that practice of just grounding myself in my purpose, things became a lot easier.
Mhm.
Doing the work wasn't easy, but
Right.
it just flowed better
Right.
Yeah.
than,
Kind of
How-
being out of your purpose, kind of.
yeah.
like when I just decided to commit myself to my purpose all the way, things just like step by step by step. It's just I just had to keep moving forward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when I would find myself like having that fear blockage holding me back, then
Right.
that was just another thing that I had to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
But remembering who I am kept me moving forward.
Right.
Mhm.
And so just keep moving forward.
Right. Oh, that is absolutely brilliant. Well said. Was there some manifestation going on there? Did you have to visualize your dream?
Wildly enough, everything came to me in visions.
Mm.
You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? So it's
Wow,
kind of
yeah.
like, I didn't even really feel like I was orchestrating it in this time. I feel like it was honestly something that I was manifesting from a long time ago. When I was a kid. Like, I can take it
Wow.
back to like when I was like 14
Mm.
and when I ain't know nothing about nothing, but I just knew that I had interest in doing this, and I just had interest in doing how do
Well, I feel. I mean, it's one of those things. I definitely get what you're saying.
It's
I
like
mean,
words can't
it was-
describe.
Right. I
yeah,
feel
it was okay, right. It was more so like a vision. Like even when like Mia came to me, because Mia came to me and she said, hey, like, let's open up a spa. And I was
Right.
like, yes, let's
Wow.
open
Yeah.
up a
Yeah.
spa. Because like
Right.
she was doing her thing. And I just got certified and licensed to do the aesthetic side of a spa.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
it was just like perfect. Like, yeah.
Like it was like already written.
Yeah,
shit,
you know
it
what I'm
was.
saying? Pretty
Right.
much.
Yeah.
It truly was. All of this has all been written. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, and I think amongst the most like successful people, that attitude is very much echoed. I look at guys like multi-millionaires in like real estate, like Robert Kiyosaki and Ken McElroy. They have the same attitude you guys have, which is undeniable self-belief in yourself, and you guys actually see it. There's one thing is saying, hey, I got a goal. Excuse me. I got a goal. I want to reach this, and you just keep that in your head. But it's another thing to actually put pen on paper,
Yeah.
visualize your dream,
And live in it.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and create small step plans. Because you have an LLC, you have a company, so I know you had to research on how to form your LLC and which one is right, the single manager, multiple manager, like all these different things. And same for you with the spa. Like, I really want to get into how you guys did this, because I know this takes a lot of research and work, and we have on the statistics of the show like a good group of young women watching the show from 18 to 28, and like I said, it's inspiring because the women listeners to the show are going to see two strong women with focus and with a dream, and actually going out and saying, I don't care what anybody else got to think. I don't care that my family never was like entrepreneur based. I'm gonna start this trend. And you guys are actually going for it. It's so powerful.
And it like looks so like seamless. Like
It
so
is.
like it just all made it look really easy. Honestly, just like it all like fit together to where like somebody might be like, it's so hard, this and that, but it just seemed like everything, like when you're in your purpose, everything just seems to fall in place.
That's exactly how it goes. That's exactly how it goes.
Yeah.
Literally. Everything is just so, it's divine. It's nothing but God, the way that the opportunities have just like opened up, and the way that we are just getting it done, the way we getting it done.
It happened.
Like,
It was a
it's
very
divine.
it that seamlessness seems like very rapid, but this has been years in the making.
Right.
Years of preparation just to align. And the words that have been coming to me lately has been ancestral alignment. Ancestral alignment. It's just, all of it fits together. Like, when I came to her, excuse me.
Nah, get right. Nah, you good.
You got, you know?
Some whiskey over there.
No, because this part of my journey really opens me up. It's that light that's coming forward from my heart right now. And Hands of Light was truly born out of manifestation.
Yes, ma'am.
Taking it back to 2019 when I had just decided to recommit to myself, because I've been on my journey since 2016. And I kind of fell off in that alignment. And, you know, I was just way far yonder off my path. You know, that happens.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, because when it's time for you to step into your calling, you will be returned.
Right.
You know, we're all going to fall back into alignment one day.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I was just finding myself. I was just knew I needed to find something. And so I took myself in nature and decided to just, you know what, I'm going to just sit down and listen.
Right.
And that is when Hands of Light came to me. It just came to me in a thought.
Right.
Very, you know, like just in that meditation with the sunrise, the thought came to me.
Right.
And it didn't come until, it came later, but the first thing that came was just something that I could build for my legacy,
Right.
you know? And so that started also with like having an LLC and then taking that into how can this work with my gifts? And so that balance, I lost my thought.
Well,
Nah, the balance, or matter of fact, like, how do you? I heard you mentioned legacy.
Yeah.
You know, what does that word mean to you?
Everything. It's,
Legacy is what you leave behind.
This is everything that I'm doing it for is my legacy.
Right.
It's for my children, for my children's children, and my great, 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 great,
Right.
great, great, great
Yeah.
grandchildren. I want them to be able to date back to me and be like, you know what, somebody considered me, somebody thought of me, somebody acknowledged me.
Yeah.
And that way, you know, to the both of us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we do it for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we can leave something behind for our children.
Absolutely.
Something greater.
Greater than.
You know, something greater. Because, you know, like we said, like, we're the first ones that are the entrepreneurs in the family. We're also the first one to be so health conscious.
Right.
And to be rebellious in the way that we think, you know? So, yeah, we just trying to switch it up, really. We just trying to switch it up. We trying to bring some liberation.
Right.
Pretty much.
I mean, and I identify with you guys so hard because that's exactly the same path I'm going. Like,
Beautiful.
when it comes down to it, man, I want to be like the first. Like you guys watch Naruto? I'm an anime fan.
This man
I've seen a
said.
few episodes.
I want to be like the first Hokage of my family tree. Like I want to be like, you know, the guy who curated generational wealth. I don't want my kids. I don't want my kids to be worried about finances and financial
what?
stress. Yeah.
That's where I started too.
Yes, ma'am.
That's where I started too, and I used to struggle with my career path
Right.
because even me just being a woman, you know, we look for stability.
Yes, ma'am.
And I knew that by nature, I'm very like helpful to people that I come across. So I automatically thought, okay, why don't I be a nurse?
Right.
You know, I was going into it for, you know, because you're healing people and it's a stable position. And as I was like about to even apply to nursing school, I had a download, and I was like, Kayla, why would you do that? Why would you go into a career field just for the money, just to be stable, when you know you don't believe in none of that? You don't even believe in the medicine,
Right.
that medicine,
Right.
yeah, the pharmaceuticals, and that moment right there is actually what freed me,
Yes.
and that moment right there is what brought me more wealth.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because then I realized, okay, well, let me just follow what I know, and me just being true to myself, like my true self, and what I really believe in.
Right.
That is what brought wealth,
Right.
Yeah.
like beautiful, abundant wealth, and yeah. So you said that you were, you know, you're talking about like generational liberation through finances.
Yes, ma'am.
Just being yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Like
Like
nobody
just,
can be you better than you.
Right.
no, facts.
Right.
Facts. So just like knowing like your talents and knowing what you're just naturally drawn to, like that is what like really helped me like just create wealth for myself. Like I haven't had a job since 2019.
Oof. Congrats, girl.
There we go. Yeah.
God for it.
Oh, we ought to toast to that.
Right.
That
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. I want to backtrack a little bit because you brought in health into that equation, and I think health and wealth is intermingled. You know, I truly believe that you are what you eat. You can't possibly be your full self or, you know, operate at full, you know, potential capacity if you're eating McDonald's and eating, you know, Cheetos on the couch and not doing anything. Like you have to make sure that you put in the right foods and the right nutrition. And what's actually very interesting about you guys, and specifically about you, Kayla, is you have a business that supplies a lot of nutritional things like the sea moss gummies. I saw that. There's so much hype on the sea moss gummies right now.
I don't make the gummies.
You know,
What?
I make the sea
No.
moss supplements and
Gotcha.
the gel, sea moss
Okay.
gel.
right. So the sea moss gel.
There's a lot of hype on that though.
It is.
And you know what? And that's actually what made me not want to do it. You know, because I started selling it in March 2020,
Right.
before we went into the pandemic. It was so beautiful.
Okay.
It was
Oh, yeah, I
beautiful
remember that, yeah.
alignment.
Right.
It was so beautiful alignment. But yeah, actually, I received a download when I first started consuming sea moss. And I wanted to sell it, but I was like, you know, there's already people doing it. You know, I didn't want to do it. I was like, there's already people doing it. So that discouraged me. You know, that negative thinking discouraged me.
Right.
But I'm so glad I just did it anyway.
Right.
Because, you know, and I feel like that's what a lot of people struggle with. Because they want to do something, but then they know 10 other people that do it. But it doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
Right.
Yeah.
if someone is doing what you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
as long as your intentions are pure behind it and you really live by it, like you stand by it, it's like your lifestyle,
Right.
like, do it.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing that you should be sharing with people. So just do it.
I keep hearing you saying you receive downloads. What does that mean?
Let them know. Let them know.
I feel like everyone received downloads in different ways. Like sometimes it would literally just be a voice in my head, literally, as I'm talking to myself, but I know it's not. I know it's from a higher perspective, but it sounds like me because all voices in my head do sound like me. But I know it's coming from another realm. You know, so that's what I mean by download. Like
Right.
I literally hear it in dialogue, like
Right.
as if I'm talking to myself in my head. Like there's another voice,
Right.
a good voice.
Yeah, a good
Just
voice.
the inner wisdom.
The
Yeah.
inner wisdom.
Yeah.
From our higher selves.
That's what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And I feel like just to kind of flow in that direction within our higher selves, it's like that voice is always guiding us.
Always.
That voice is always guiding us. And I don't know why, we've gotten comfortable with silencing that voice, because that's when we lose our inner guidance, and that's when we begin to disconnect from our path and our purpose, and then we begin to feel lost and confused and down that string of roads, and that inner voice is always, 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 always guiding us.
Right.
It's just in the stillness when we're able to really listen and follow that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I want to go on this topic, this is spirituality right here, ladies and gentlemen. What initially got you guys into the spirituality, mind of thought? What got you guys into spirituality?
Or even, what was the last straw? Was it a was it a conscious decision, or it was things built up to a point where it's just let me just, you know what I mean? Was it a break? You know what I mean? Was it just a natural flow, or was it something got to a point?
For me, it was both. I feel like I've always, ever since I was a child, I've always been very free-spirited. I've always been very openly inclined, just connecting with that inner child. I've always been spiritual. It's just the programming that we go through life just removes us from that spirited nature.
Right.
And so finding that spirited nature was actually a very organic process for me.
Right.
After I had graduated high school, which was, that was a whole different story, but after graduating high school, I just decided that, you know what, I don't know what I want to do.
No, keep going. You don't know what you want to do.
Yeah, after high school, I realized, I was I don't know what I want to do. I know I don't want to go to college. And I graduated, everybody thought I was going to go into the Air Force.
Oh, man.
Yeah, do I look
I can't even picture that.
Do I look like a military person? No.
Kind of, sort of.
You have a strong, you're a leader. You have a very strong presence. I could definitely see you telling people what to do. In a sense,
but I can't be told what to do, and that is the attitude that I've always carried throughout my life.
Right.
And that's something.
Meet authority. We don't.
Right.
That just couldn't happen. So I knew, I was you know what? Before I just signed any type of contract to a university for a year, or to the government militaries, no. I took a year off. I just took a year off. I said, you know what, let me just give myself this liberty of figuring it out. I don't have to know what I want to do right now.
Right.
And this is I was working, and it wasn't working out. Nothing was working out. And I was you know what? I remember that one hiking trail that my friend took me to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I found it. And I just found so much peace and serenity, because, it's a very private trail. It's on private land. So, it was very secluded. And that is just where I began to reconnect with that inner voice.
Right.
And that inner voice began speaking to me louder the more I just would go within and just meditate. I would just read. I literally quit my job.
Wow.
And I just spent 3 months just going out to that trail and just sitting there reading and just getting to know myself for the first time. And that led me to massage therapy school. Somebody just said that I should do it. And I was well, at the time, I wanted to be a physical therapist. And I was actually enrolling into community college. I was going through it. Doing the test, doing the signing. I was doing the whole process. And when it became time for me to get my classes and take those tests, I had missed 1 point, literally 1 point in that math exam. That would have made me have to do the, what is it called, the remedial. Remedial. And that's exactly, I was like, nah.
Ain't nothing remedial about Mia.
Exactly. No, thank you. But no, I knew it was because of my lack of actually wanting to do it. Because when I was taking that test, I was like, it was 6 hours. It was cold. I was just skipping through it. I was like, whatever. Like, all right. You know, my heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And that one
Like
point
going through the
showed it.
motions.
Yeah, that one point showed it.
Right.
And that one point was like, all right, well, I tried. That's not it.
Yeah.
You know, I just took it as a clear sign. That one point. At one point changed my life. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go into massage therapy school. I was already, you know, in my spiritual journey, and so I was just entering this new journey in 2017. I was like just so open, like I look back and I'm like, that was like so pure, but I had a lot to learn.
And low-key, I want to highlight that because like a lot of people in that instance, failing a test would be the end of the world to them. But for you in that instance, it was more so of a door closed, another one opened. And it was like you had the right perspective of it. Because some people feel like very crushed and very just down about, I guess, failures. But technically, that wasn't a failure. That was an opportunity.
Ashe. And looking back at it now, I see how we can take opportunity in redirection. Massage therapy school happened I enrolled in November. I think when I failed the test happened in October. So it was like, you know, it was like, all right, I knew my heart wasn't in it, but at least I was like, okay, well, I tried. I tried. And if that wasn't enough, if that wasn't just it, then that's just what it is. And I had that acceptance. It was like, all right, like, I'm not going to let that get me down. Because I just knew, like, well, I have more time for myself now. You know, everything just brought me back deeper into myself. And I took advantage of that. I was like, more time to just learn and discover about myself. And with that redirection, I'm like reliving it right now. Yeah, I was
so powerful, right?
It was very powerful. Looking back at that 18-year-old or 19-year-old young girl, like I had just turned 19. I had just started. I cut off all my hair, and I was like, yeah, I'm in it.
Man, your hair grows fast, girl.
Oh no! I was in it though. And in massage therapy school, I found myself. Like, I really found my passion for just healing. Like, I knew it was just meant to be, because everything was just like ease. It was a lot of ease into learning, into growing. I was excited. I was passionate. It was like aligning with my spiritual values. It was just making sense, and it made science. So I'm like, this is it for me. Like, this is just the beauty. And that's actually, in 2017 is when I told myself, I was like, yeah, I'm going to open a holistic center. I'm going to open a holistic center. That's when I was like, I put it into the universe. I didn't really know what it was going to look like. I didn't really know that it was like going to be me and my cousin. I had no idea, but I was like, yeah, like I can see myself doing this in a spiritually inclined manner.
You know, there's something so liberating in focusing on the internal factors of your life instead of the external factors. The way I like to explain that is the internal factors in life are the things that you can control, like meditating on the trail and going out and really talking to yourself and creating that healthy dialogue. You know, a lot of people are focused on what the Joneses are doing or what's going out, you know, in the world. But the simple fact of the matter is, the only way you can make the world better is to live up to your full potential, complete your life journey. And once you realize that, it becomes so liberating. It does, and it becomes such a spiritual journey. I feel like life is very much like school, and the lessons that we learn throughout life is going to, if we learn from them, right, is going to help us live up to our full potential. You know?
Like, so randomly, so to that, I saw something that was very interesting, right?
Right.
So like living, we really only use about 3% of our cells, and 97% activate after our death. So like scientifically speaking, there technically is something that happens after death, and so at this point, it kind of is a school of life,
Right.
because like technically we're living to die, if that makes we're I guess technically yeah, but it's just like we're honestly we're dying to live, because like while we're in this moment, we're technically dying.
Yeah.
And if 97% of our cells activate after we die, then we're technically living, because there's only 3% while we're dying,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So it's like this really could be a school for us to learn and grow spiritually.
Right.
And then for that next chapter, we take what we've learned, and that'll kind of, in either way you look at it, where we are now determines where we go afterwards.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's just
Man.
food for thought. I don't know.
Yo, that's so ironic, the synchronicity that's going on right now, because that's going to lead into my next question. I want to start off with a quote, Gary Zukav, which has been a very important figure in my life. He's the one that introduced me into spirituality. He's the author of Seed of the Soul, which I would recommend all the listeners to read if you want to go on that path of finding yourself. But one thing he said was, eventually you will come to understand that love heals everything, and love is all there is. And you were talking about life after death. I want to ask everybody. I'm going to ask everybody. Do you believe that the evolution of an individual continues in life after death? And if you do, how so?
That's a perfect question, because I do past life regressions, and our soul's essence carries on through every realm of existence. So once we transition, we are, like, we have our physical body, but we are also composed of like an energetic layer, an emotional layer, there's 7 layers of our aura.
Right.
And so that highest spiritual level is like so profound you can't even see it. It's just like a pure white light in our aura. But that whenever we transition, it's like we elevate from that physical essence, and then we transcend into that soul's aura. And then it's just, energy never dies.
Yeah.
Energy never dies. And so
You just got deep.
I'm trying to
Pass that line over here, buddy.
I'm trying to formulate the words of
Right.
how I can like paint this vision that I'm seeing right now.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So it's reminding me of that Disney movie Soul, maybe. Have y'all seen that movie? Have you seen that movie? Soul? Yeah, it's like Jamie Foxx is a voiceover.
I saw a bit of it, first 30 minutes of it, and it was deep. I was like, I gotta watch this later.
Yeah, okay.
Because you gotta be in the space to receive
but
that
I think,
type of.
If anybody's already seen it, then it'll make sense. But it goes with what you're saying, because spoiler alert, so it's a troubled, like, I wouldn't say troubled, but just like a pianist that feels like his prime is over. Like he's steadily just trying to make it, right? But he's a teacher now, and he's older. He's not in his prime anymore, but he's still just keeping up the dream of trying to be like a pianist, like a jazz musician. Right. And he finally gets this opportunity, right? He does the audition, impresses everybody that he wants to impress. Finally has the gig that he wants, right? Feels like he's made it. He dies right before he gets like the glory. And it pretty much, like, he goes to like the afterlife, and it shows where like the souls go and come to, everything like that. And like I'm not gonna talk about that part, but it, like, it's really deep, and it goes to the point where to what you're saying, just like you transcend, but also like the part of your soul just keeps going. And like when you watch the movie, it's like you wonder how many times, to what you were saying, how many times like a soul has gone through that cycle of finding, you know, I guess like a person, or because like it kind of attributed gifts with the soul. So like some people might have already had this type of gift. Oh, they might have been a really good pianist. Oh, that goes to them. Or they might have been a really good athlete or a speaker, and this would go to them. But it's just like, how many times does that cycle continue, X, Y, and Z?
Right, yeah. That's very interesting.
What do you guys think?
So you're just gonna interview us? No,
Yeah, I'm interviewing y'all. This is my podcast.
There we are.
Oh, we got hijacked. But you gotta change that photo behind you then.
Yeah, no, it's like those Nickelodeon episodes with Jimmy Neutron and Timmy Turner.
Right.
You see,
You guys should definitely create a podcast though.
yeah,
Like for sure. I feel like you guys have a lot of interesting things to talk
yeah.
about.
I feel like y'all are a great combo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, it's that Taurus and Libra energy.
Who's a Taurus?
I'm the toy.
Okay, hey, it's three.
Hey,
Like we're all three.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the odd man out.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm like, no wonder why I'm just like floating here. And I'm like,
Right, we're all just chilling.
yeah, it's like,
We call them airheads over here. No, I'm sorry.
Don't do my girl like that.
No, I was joking. Man, where?
Oh wait, what was it? Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait,
The question was,
Yeah, what was the question?
do you remember?
I do.
Can you remember?
How many times do y'all feel like the soul reincarnates? Or do y'all even believe that it does?
Right.
Who chooses? Who
Right.
chooses to be like the ancestors in the room?
Right. Well, I'm gonna be forthcoming here and very transparent. This is the way I perceive the world. I really do feel like I have my ancestors looking over me. My grandfather is right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Daryl Holt. He was a wonderful man, and he's the blueprint of what a real man is. You know, he took care of the family, never argued. I never seen him do anything hellacious. Always showed my grandmother and my family the utmost respect. And he was the anchor, the provider, and the protector of my family. And that's really what I want to embody, you know, from him. And so I feel like I have great ancestors like that are watching over me, and they're in the spiritual realm, you know, but they're watching over me. And as long as I, you know, complete my life journey and do what I need to do, they're going to continue to give me that divine voice. Like you said, you get downloads. That's what I was asking. I get those too. Like, I don't know what it is. It's not me for sure, because I'm a canhead, but I get divine intelligence where it's like, where's this coming from? And it just comes out of nowhere. And I know it's my ancestors looking over me. I feel like if you do what you're supposed to do in this lifetime, you will progress to the next stage. Some people, if you want to get technical with it, that's dimension 4. But I want to say it's the spiritual realm. But if you don't do what you're supposed to do, you're making mistakes, you're mean, you're a dickhead, and you're constantly blaming other people for your life mistakes and stuff like that, you might have to live this life over again until you realize what the true journey is. And that's why I brought up that Gary Zurich quote, is because love is everything. And once you live from a perspective of love, then, you know, I feel like only good things are going to happen. You can transcend into that next life. What about you, Brian?
Hey man, way to pass it over. That was like a damn behind the back.
Definitely.
Man, how I feel about it. I mean, you hit on some really good points that I'd probably like to talk about as well. But I mean, for me, man, I feel like, you know, at the core of it, so if we're like, you know, third dimension, there's there's probably like 6 dimensions. I don't know. I know there's more than 4.
Well, scientists know that there's 11 dimensions at least.
Well, shit. Yeah, I mean, it's a damn ladder. So if we're at the bottom of the ladder, you can easily step down and talk to somebody.
Right,
you know what I mean? And so, like, we only perceive like 0.009% of like light in the spectrum.
Right.
So like that leaves more than like 90% of what is possible to see. So like science, so bringing that in with spirituality, that means like there's shit going on in this room right now probably like 10 times what we can fathom, you know what I mean,
Right.
just off of that.
It's like the spirit tap dancing on your shoulder right now.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
literally
right.
what I imagined. I was
Right.
like, they ain't here gyrating.
Yeah, they
Like,
probably ain't
they
shit.
lit. I was like, I know they lit right now.
So like I mean, for me, like I feel like I had like a really, well, certain things just in my life, the way they've happened, it just like fell into place like it was already written. And then like at the timing of things, like the first time I realized that like the voices in my head, obviously like my thoughts, but like
Right.
sometimes I don't even know, like until somebody said like, you know, your voice in your head. In my head, half the time it don't sound like me in a sense. Like right now how I sound, sometimes in my head it don't sound like that
Right.
in a sense. Until I speak, I'm like, oh, that's how I sound sometimes.
Right.
So it's like it just like, so like the best example is like when I would pray, I would get an answer. And like I can't really say it was like, it would just be like a voice, or like it just be like an answer in a sense, you know. And then like at a point I came to the conclusion like it really feels like it's just my higher self
Right.
that's like speaking to me and like giving me the information. And to that point, like last year or maybe 2 years maybe now, I looked at, my dad just randomly sent me like a picture of like my great grandfather, like on my mom's side, and like we look just alike.
Oh, wow.
And it just like, oh wow, like but to that, like, I mean, I think, you know, if this is just like a school, or like I've heard somebody say it is like being Earth is like a training ground, so it can kind of be seen as like a purgatory kind of. And until like the mission is complete, or until you've learned what you've learned, you're just gonna keep kind of coming back. And at the same time, like when I think about astrology, every so often there's going to be somebody with the same pattern, the same stars in the same places that come straight, you know, back. So it's like there's going to be multiple Christ figures in a sense. There's going to be multiple Buddhas or like divine ones. So who's to say, you know what I mean? Like the way I kind of see it now is that the world is a stage, you know, with like numerology and gematria.
Geometry?
No, not geometry.
Like,
No, it's like when people like break down words into numbers and they say, oh, this is what this means.
I just read about that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Pronounce
it's like
it. How
gematria.
you
I actually got it on my phone.
It's not geriatric.
Yeah, no, it's like
It's like a breakdown of like the alphabet, and it translates into numbers.
yeah, it's
And-
spelled Gematria. And so, like, for example, okay, we look at Prince, the Prince of England that just passed away.
Right.
He died on, he was 99, and he died on,
the 9th of April.
yeah, 9th of April. And like somebody would be like, they put those numbers together and like, oh, it means this word. And like, for example, DMX died the same day.
Wow.
And like he was 50, the April 9th, and they would put that together, somehow it would like say something. And so little stuff like that, like that's how people be like, that's how some kind of conspiracies work. But like that's how they'll like, even like Donald Trump, stuff like that.
Right.
But like I say that to say like should be a stage in the fact that like whether you know it or not, you're playing a part in something that's big. And like some people may not, like certain people that we see as bad figures or good figures, they're just like playing a divine role in like a bigger game, you know? So it's like there almost has to be a good and bad, you know what I mean? And like obviously that's like the duality of it all, but like everything is like data.
Do you believe in faith, like fate or freedom of choice?
Um,
It seems like you're going around fate.
well,
Like there has to be players on the stage that have certain agendas.
right, but it's natural though. So like first person, you have choice, right? But that's a subjective, you know, feeling of I have a choice.
Right.
But like the choices really depend on the situations X, Y, and Z that you have no control over. So they naturally happen, it seems, you know, but it like naturally pushes you. Like when things snowball in the right direction, I feel like they can snowball. Like, so when things just fall into place, it goes both ways. Like there's really no good or bad. You know what I mean? So like somebody can be rewarded for being like somebody, like for as many good people out there, there's like, I would say like there's a spectrum, right? You have somebody that's the sweetest person you ever met, but on the other spectrum, there's the evilest person you ever met. And if they're living in their purpose, things are gonna fall into place to where it just naturally rewards them. You know, like for example, I guess like a villain that we could say maybe is Donald Trump, right? Everything seemed to have gone his way. He made it to the very top, you know, and it's just like it was kind of like that's supposed to happen, you know, or even maybe somebody like Hitler or somebody like Martin Luther King or Obama, like all those characters, things kind of just fall into place as long as you're living in your, I guess in your being yourself, honestly,
Right.
just being yourself.
Right.
I love this conversation because just kind of like to piggyback off of what you were saying is that we have like our souls, we choose come here. Nothing is by accident.
Right.
Nothing is by accident. Like our soul's essence when we are in that realm of not the human incarnate, but when we are in that higher realm, ancestral realm, whatever vibration you want to, you know, call it, when
Right.
we are there, we we have a star family. We have a star family, a star tribe that we are all connected to. And that, you know, there's no physical flesh to it. It's just a soul's grouping that we are a part of. And within that soul's grouping, we come to earth to learn. That's essentially why we are all here. We come to earth to learn, we come here to grow, and we come here to evolve. And like, you know, you said, it's like, we're not here by punishment. We chose to come here. Everything that is happening in our life is happening because it is showing up to assist in our evolution, in our soul's evolution. And you can look at things like, it's just all about perspective, you know? Even like the most traumatic things that have happened in my life have projected me forward deeper into my purpose. And so some people can appear to be like the worst human being ever. And that's probably just because their karmic cycles that they have to live out.
Right.
Sometimes you have to go down to the nitty-gritty of the lowest scum of earth, just so when the next life you can do the work to elevate from that.
Right.
You know, we all flow on some part of the spectrum. You know, we all flow on the spectrum. And so, like, you know, Brian, like you were saying, like, you know, you have some of these people, you have some great people, you have some not so great people. But it's all just, you know, a part of perspective. And, you know, those people are like, I believe it's like, you know, if you cause no harm to no one else, you know, if you make the conscious choice to like, or maybe not even the conscious choice, because, you know, only so many of us are actually conscious and aware of why we're even here. But if you, you know, are just living every day as a righteous person, you know, then that builds the quality of life. And that accumulation of quality will take us further into our soul's progression. And so I've had some like past life regression clients who had lived a stellar, beautiful, purposeful past life, and they're trying to in this life, it's like they're trying to figure out why things aren't just working the way it was. Well, it's because, you know, in that past life you lived out your destiny. And now, so it's like here where you are now, it's like where you are now in life, it's like you have to take those parts of you. You have to learn different lessons now, because you've already closed that cycle. You've closed that chapter. But it's beautiful because our soul's essence is always within us. It's always within us, and we have the ability to receive that ancient knowledge, that ancient wisdom, because energy is timeless. It is all timeless. And so whenever you are ready to receive that next level, when you are willing and consciously wanting to grow and evolve within your soul's journey, when you want to find your purpose, you just have to find, it just comes back all to self. It just all comes back into self.
And I get what you're saying 100%, because we're on the same journey. You know, we're on the same path as far as like our perspectives. But there's a lot of young, you know, people who are listening to the show where this is just go over their head. They probably stopped at like, wait, what? We can manifest our reality before we're born here? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does that actually mean? Like, what do you mean by that? You believe before we're born we choose our parents? Are you saying we choose our parents, our friends, the people
everything we choose, everything. I chose to be in this body. I chose
You chose to be a female?
I chose to be a woman. I was blessed to be a female.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, I was blessed to be a woman.
Hey, period.
I was blessed to be a woman. in my previous lifetime, I did so much work that I was blessed to be Mia Lucky, you know? And we have to see everything as that blessing. We are blessed to be present here on earth. And just to really like break it down into just like, we are the creators of our life. Like
from the beginning.
Just to take out religion, who created all of this? The creator. The creator created all of this. And if the creator created me, then I am the creator as well, right? Because that is my power. That is my gift. I am consciously aware that I can create my reality because I chose this reality. And so it plays like that, you know. It plays like that, you know. We just
here, we chilling.
Yeah, you know,
we just out here manifesting.
Just out here manifesting our best life. Literally.
You know, I want to speak to that. I mean, I can definitely identify with the people who are saying like, what is manifestation, energy? Like, I can't see this stuff. What does this mean? You just
not the side.
You have to take a step back from your life, and that's why I brought up, you know, the living internally instead of worrying about the external factors. You have to really find yourself, and you have to really go back into history. Really look at ancient, especially if you're a minority, specifically brown color. Like, really look at our ancient ancestors and really go back to ancient Kemet, which is Egypt, and understand the culture that our ancestors cultivated and the spiritual knowledge that they were able to create and intertwine into their society, which created such a great society. It's the simple fact of the matter is the most important thing is to focus on being a better you on an individual daily basis. Be holy, like you said. Be 100% righteous, like you said. This isn't fire and brimstone Christianity talk, 10 Commandments bullshit. This is like actual way of life, non-judgmental. You have to understand who you are and who is guiding you. And I want to go into a perspective question. This is a bit of a broad question, but the question is, what is the importance of having an open and positive perspective? And before you guys answer, I just want to again commend you. Obviously, you guys have an open, positive perspective. This is how you were able to create your own businesses, and not only that, but create a healthy spiritual lifestyle for yourself. It's obvious you guys are glowing here. Me and Brian are glowing too.
It's the liquor.
But you guys are glowing, and the things that you're saying, in my head, I'm like, oh, they're on the same path. They obviously know what they're talking about. What is the benefit of having an open perspective, a positive perspective, and just the ability to change your perspective?
Simply put, the benefit to having a positive perspective is knowledge. Like knowledge. You know, a lot of people who have a negative perspective on something, they don't see the lesson in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I truly believe that things happen for you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that things happen to you. I believe that things happen for you.
Yeah.
Even if it's something bad happened, like,
Well,
I use myself as an example.
Okay, here we
we
go.
all learn.
Yeah, there we go.
Let me use myself as an example. Like, it would be little things like, I lost my keys the other day, and I was so upset because I lost my keys. I was like, I was just so upset that I lost my keys. But what I learned in that moment was, I'm just moving too fast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so instead of like thinking like, okay, dang, like I lost my keys, I was upset, and then Mia helped me realize. Mia helped me realize that
Teamwork.
it's just a sign that you're just moving too fast.
Right.
It's just a sign that you're moving too fast. You're doing too much work,
Right.
and you just need to relax. You just need to relax, take a break. You know what I'm saying? So that's an example of having a positive perspective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
when you have a negative perspective, you don't see the lesson in it. But everything, like a caterpillar fell in front of me today. That was needed. That was a lesson. That was a message.
And what was that message?
It fell. I was with my friend, and so we looked it up to figure out what does a caterpillar symbolize, and it was so many things. It meant so many things.
Right.
Pretty much change though.
Okay.
Change.
Yeah.
That was the overall theme.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you gonna bump your head on the way to changing type
Right.
of thing, or evolving, or
Maybe so. But we saw that caterpillar climb right back up the tree
there we go.
and try again.
That's what I love about nature. Like,
Nature
a tree will never, just because a tree next to it might grow faster, it'll never it won't stop being, it will never not grow to its potential. You know what I mean? It'll persevere. There's no, like with us, there's so much going on where we, comparison, X, Y, and Z, to where like some people will stunt their own growth and not even know it. So.
Casa Sangrada.
Whoa.
Caras.
Say that one more time. That sounded good. That sounded really good. Say that.
Cascara Sangrada.
It's
It's nasty.
It's nasty.
It sounds cute, but it's nasty.
Hey man, that's it. That's how you know it worked. It's like Robitussin.
What about like garlic cloves? You can eat that, right?
I don't recommend that. I recommend herbs.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to detox off of garlic cloves, and my breath.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
Good
no
for
vampires.
parasites.
Yeah.
Good for parasites.
And raw ginger.
Raw
Pumpkin
ginger.
seeds.
Yeah.
Pumpkin enzymes.
Ooh.
All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the herbalist. I'm like,
I am studying, y'all.
Hey.
I am studying.
Yo, somebody used to bust my ass for saying the H in herb. They used to bust my ass. I was like,
And it's
I would
so
be like, bro,
funny.
I was like, damn, G,
Herbs.
like it's like that.
That's how you. I think that's how you supposed to
Nah,
pronounce
man,
it.
fuck
Herb.
that.
Herbs.
Nah,
Yeah,
fuck that.
the H is silent.
We gonna say it like how it's spelled.
Right.
Oh, so you're clowning me?
No, no, I'm clowning
I'm
myself.
I'm pretty
but-
sure I just said the H in the herbs. It's okay.
No, it wasn't until we just said that. Then it's like now we gotta replay that, but no, it's all good. No,
Right.
Herbs, man, herbs. But yeah, it definitely changes your life. Like you are what you eat.
Yeah.
Period. So
Yeah.
you know, if you're eating the Taco Bell, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
you're eating the Taco Bell.
Kilo Taco Bell.
You're eating the them hot wings,
Every day.
the crab legs.
Every day.
You're gonna be tired. It's
Yes.
not much energy in that. You know that life has deceased.
Yeah, well,
so,
plus,
you know
like,
you're getting full, but you're not really getting revitalized
So
with the
Yeah.
energy. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all about really what's replenishing you.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And we are so much like plants.
yeah.
It naturally just heals us.
Yeah,
Naturally. Like watermelon. Did y'all know watermelon is good for your blood?
It's
yeah.
all water.
That's why I used to eat it. Yeah,
And the
all
seeds.
that. Yeah,
And it's funny too because they kind of like are a reflection. Like, you know, they say like even walnuts are like good for your brain. It's like
Absolutely.
brain food.
Yeah.
It's literally, it looks like a
Right.
brain.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, so did you read the Limitless book by Jim Quick? Because
No, I
he said the
haven't.
same. Wow, that's so
haven't.
weird. Life is so weird.
Nah,
He said
hey,
the
it's
same-
true.
It is.
It's like right in our face. I should literally be right in our face.
Right.
Like
And we
the
don't think about it.
the tissue of our stomach is the same tissue as our brain. So like brain
Yeah.
food.
I told you he has like
Right.
5 of these each episode. Yo, I want we're talking about health, but that definitely correlates into the being comfortable in your own skin. And I really, really like. I'm so team women. Like I'm so tired of weak people in general, men, whatever, not embracing strong women.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or condemning them or whatever. The point of the matter is women are divine.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I see.
Let me say that one more time.
I'm
Women
picking
are
up what you're
divine.
putting down.
All right. So that's why I want to talk about being comfortable in your own skin, and unfortunately, there's a lot of women who are not comfortable in their own skin. It seems like you women are. I don't know if that's a fair
Queens.
assessment. Exactly, queens are. Let me correct myself. How did you develop that confidence in yourself? And again, any young women who listen to this, this is your show right here because these women right here got it.
Boom.
But how did you develop that pristine confidence in yourself to say, you know what, I'm comfortable in my own skin and I don't care what anybody think about? How?
Best answer.
We woke up like this. It's the greatest answer.
No, facts. You have to see it in yourself every single day. Even when you don't see it, you still have to see it. Like,
Yeah, it's all about perspective.
it's all about perspective.
I see beauty in everything. I
Right.
see beauty in everyone. I feel like as long as it's really just a reflection of your self-love.
Right.
That's really where the beauty in people come. That's really where it manifests. It's all about like your self-love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can walk into the room, somebody might not look that cute, but they're so vibrant and they're so
Yes.
happy and they're smiling and it's the energy really.
Right.
I feel like it's honestly more so you're attracted to the energy more than the physical, but we kind of think it has something to do with the physical, but no, we're really just good on the inside, you know? And that's what makes you beautiful.
When you know yourself.
What's up?
No, I was just about to. Oh,
He's
well,
excited.
I shouldn't be interjecting here, but what she
okay.
said, like, it struck a chord with me because you only understand the world as much as you understand yourself.
Yes.
And like, and a lot of times, I was listening to a podcast. I forgot who it was, but it was Simon Sinek, and basically he was talking about how him and another, I guess, speaker or a competitor didn't like each other, but what they basically. The reason why they didn't like each other, and he addressed it, was because he was good. The other guy was good at his weakness, so he saw his potential in him, and it made him feel self-conscious. And once he addressed that with him, they became best friends because they were able to learn from each other. So like when people see their potential in other people, they don't like that. You know what I mean? And that's where that stuff comes from, you know? Like when you see some, like when people, there'll be somebody that fucking bench like 600 pounds, you know what I'm saying? And someone be like, pussy, or like they'll just say something like, oh, well, oh, you're you didn't keep your hips down or some shit like that. And it's just like, you're just mad because you weren't able to do it, but you know you should be if you worked X, Y, and Z harder. And so, yeah.
They'll be like, what's that string hanging out your sleeve right there? What is it? It's your arm. So, you didn't get that? All right.
Nah, I was like, like in my head, I was like, I thought it was one of those things where,
made you look.
yeah, like I thought it was when like, oh, you got something on your shirt, boop. I was like, nah, like what am I gonna look?
I feel like you really only judge people as hard as you judge yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, when you recognize that you are God, when you know yourself, you know your inner God, you know your light because you work so hard on loving yourself.
Yeah.
Nobody can take that away. Because we all know, like, loving yourself requires work. You have to wake up every single day, look in the mirror, and affirm yourself. Like, I try to get in the habit of, it doesn't really matter, like, what I wake up looking like or feeling like. One thing I do is I have to remind myself. I have to remind myself who I am.
Yeah.
Because...
Okay.
Yeah.
You really got to remind yourself who you are.
Right.
Every single day. See it in the mirror.
Right.
Feel it on yourself. You know, you have to cultivate that practice of loving yourself.
Right.
Loving yourself is the reminder every single day.
Self-care.
Self-care.
Right.
It's all about self-care.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that, I'll say about myself that I didn't really understand until recently, really. Because I'm so entrepreneur-minded. I know you guys for sure can attest to what I'm saying, but I would get so lost in, my LLC and trying to develop my business and create generational wealth that I would neglect, my self-care.
Working too hard.
Working way too
Working
hard.
too hard.
And I'm still trying to find the balance, but I'm so glad that I'm aware of it. You know what I'm saying? But this is one of those things that there has to be a balance.
Has to.
You have to choose yourself first.
You do.
Yeah.
And really, you got to understand that to have longevity in something, it takes time.
Yeah.
It just takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Like Nipsey said, man, it's a marathon.
It's a
not a sprint.
Exactly.
Plus,
Take your time.
yeah.
One thing that I always say to just, to remind myself is like, take your time, pace yourself, be patient, but do not waste time. Do not waste time, but take your time.
Right.
Be accountable for all your thoughts and actions, but don't let that stagnate you. You just have to keep moving.
Right.
But you have to understand you have to fill your cup first.
Right.
You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And that self-care, that self-love routine, it's a ritual.
It's a ritual.
It is a ritual. You
such
have
a
to make it
ritual.
a habitual,
Yes.
a habitual ritual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Say it one
A
more
daily habit, a habitual ritual.
time. Yes.
You have to make it that way.
And that rhymes too.
Yeah, no, it's like, I love the way that just flow because my heart, like that download is like still integrating. But you have to make it a habitual ritual. A habitual ritual.
Habitual ritual.
No, seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Most definitely.
Man, I love the conversation that we're having because I feel like I don't even have these conversations a lot, you know what I'm saying, outside of my fiance. But outside of that, it's just like these type of conversations don't really exist. And I think the main theme of the show is really focusing on the internal factors. Please just do that.
Yeah.
Please.
Shadow work.
Shadow work.
Shadow.
Yeah.
Shadow work.
Right.
Sit with your
Shadow
shadows.
work.
Ooh, matter of fact.
Shadow
All right.
work.
Explain that might have been somebody's first time hearing about shadow work.
Yeah.
So if they look at jujitsu, they might have thought shadow clones. I don't know, but let's break that down. I kind of want to hear both of y'all's like maybe like definitions of what is the, you know, shadow training.
The
all
shadow
that.
self.
Yeah.
The shadow self is that aspect of duality that exists within all of us, just like the yin and the yang. Excuse me.
Water.
Just like some water would be nice. But that shadow self is the aspect that exists within all of us. That duality exists within our yin and our yang. Just as we are light, we also have an equal amount of unknown territory within ourselves. As much as we know, there's as much as we don't know. And that exists within all of us, just like in the vast, like the ocean, you know, only 7% of the ocean has been discovered.
Right.
So it makes you just wonder, you know, you look at the stars, you look in the sky, you're like, there's so much I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've ever seen a starry galaxy night and you see every single galaxy, you can see the Milky Way, you see the constellations, you can see where all of these like beautiful life forms are just existing.
Right.
And we've only been in this planet. We've only been, maybe some of y'all have only been in your state. You've never moved out of home. You live in the same city, you know? That's very familiar territory. You think like, wow, all of that exists.
Right.
So just as that exists outside of us, that also exists within us. And so that light equals that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my gosh, that's
facts. Shadow work. It's
Yeah.
it's what you repress, good or bad.
Right.
That was the
You
bar,
know, it's
though.
what
We
you
just had like a
acknowledge.
whole like freestyle session. Like,
I know. I was like,
Cause like, funny story. So like, I like undid the cap. Cause I was like, okay, it'll make it easier for
And
us. So I had to like redo the cap. I was like, oh shit, it might
You were
spill.
like-
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, this might not be good. So
you know, I can still
So-
pick it up.
that
I
was
can
so
still pick it
funny.
up. I did not lose
You were
where.
so funny. I saw you noticing that. I was like, this dude, he's so high right now. He's just noticing all the details.
No, we like both like we all in that there. So I'm like there.
Well, he was trying to help you for sure.
I appreciate
yeah, like
it.
I was like, damn, in my head I was like, damn, I might have been doing too much. Let me like try.
I
to,
didn't
like,
even-
I saw that on your face.
I didn't even really notice that. I noticed how Kayla responded to it, and that's where it, like caught my eye. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should just,
Right.
you know, like I'm
Yeah.
literally everywhere, and I'm here right now.
Nah, it was good. Like it was just subtle on my part, but it then like I didn't know you peeped. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I peeped it.
Cause our energy is like so connected. Like,
Very. So like I
the
didn't even have
subtle
to
things
do
is
nothing.
like I know what all y'all thinking.
That part.
How you gonna tell me what I don't know? No, I'm playing.
But you were talking about the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, meaning the conscious mind is aware of the small percentage that is aware of, but the subconscious mind is so vast and so undiscovered that that is the dark side that we have to make come to light if we're trying to develop ourselves.
Definitely.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
And so shadow work is that it can look like any type of self-discovery process for you.
Good or bad.
Yeah, because it's the process of sitting with yourself. It doesn't have to just be like actual sitting meditation. Shadow work can be found through yoga. Shadow work can be found through journaling.
Right.
Shadow work can be found through taking that actual time to get real with yourself, to get raw with yourself, to confront those like that inner darkness, you know, that uncomfortable, that vastness that you are running from.
Right.
What you are running from is taking the time to like, you know what, stop.
Yeah.
And I'm a look at it. And I
Yeah.
can't see it right now, but I'm gonna shine this light on it. I'm gonna bring light to this vast unknown. And I'm going to take time to look at the whole picture. I'm going to take time to learn to love every intricate detail of that unknown. I'm just going to take time to just sit and look and, because it's all mirrors. Everything outside of us is just a reflection.
Right.
Simple.
And so when you see yourself, you see yourself in that reflection. But if I saw something that I didn't like in someone else, and I'm like, why is that projection coming up? Why do I judge people as hard as I judge myself?
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
Because that's all it is. It's all a projection.
Right.
That's that shadow coming out because it's something you are not taking the time to see within yourself. And you continue to run in that shadow self of those self-sabotaging behaviors, of doing people that no longer are no good for you, dealing in situations that are no good for you.
Right.
Everything that you know better about not doing, but you continue to do it. Those are also like patterns that we fall into when we are acting out of our shadow selves.
Right.
And then we end down this path of our shadow selves. We're going down that path of just moving in our shadow selves. So that series of unknown events when our life feels like we have no control of it, when we feel that everything just negative happening back to back to back, that's a sign.
Right.
Those are all signs of signals, and it only gets louder till you listen.
Yep.
Yeah.
It only gets louder until you listen.
Right.
And so when you just take the time to sit down and listen, to look at those mirrors and just take the time to reflect.
Yeah.
Just reflect on it. Reflect and look at those mirrors to understand what is being shown to you.
Right.
It's the universe sending that light for that to be shown, reflected to you.
Yeah.
And so just taking time to adjust that light. Adjust the light on the spectrum of just how you perceive it. Just adjust it.
Right.
Adjust the light.
You snap.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Wow.
like, how hard is that though? It's so hard to look yourself in the mirror. Like you're saying, there's mirrors everywhere. It's so hard to do so. But if you can just stop life, just stop it for a few moments and really look into who you are as a person and what your purpose is on this world is for. Once you start asking those questions, you will
Your whole
begin to
life will
see the
change.
light.
Yeah.
But you will begin to see the light that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I know that the things that we're saying is going over a lot of people's heads, but this is our true reality. And the fact of the matter is you can reach it too. You can reach a point in your life where whatever you visualize, you will manifest into the world, into the physical realm. And that's because you have that strong self-belief and that confidence inside yourself. A lot of people live in a life through fear and doubt. They're afraid to commit to things, afraid to do things. They're afraid for so many reasons. What their parents are going to think, what their family are going to think, what their friends are going to think, what Instagram is going to say. Who gives a fuck?
Nah, really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really, you gotta release that.
Yeah.
All of
You have to release that.
And that's the barrier to entry. I feel like
Yeah.
that stops people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not. What does God want for you? Fuck
Right.
what everybody
No,
else.
really though.
Fuck
People
what
want to talk
every-
about I'm so grateful, but you're not even living. You're not even living your full potential. So how could you wake up every day? Oh, gratitude for life, but you're not
Right.
even living the life that you meant to do
Yeah.
because you're scared of opinions of what someone's gonna say.
Yeah.
If I let opinions hold me back, I would not be I would be stuck in the gutter, okay? Like
Trenches.
true story though. True story. True story.
Facts.
And
That's
you
everybody.
you talked about it earlier. You said change is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. But it's just about how bad do you want it.
You got to pick your
How
heart.
bad
Yeah,
do you
I
want
think it's harder to remain stagnant in fear.
Definitely.
It's a
Like,
paralyzing.
how can you live with that on your conscience?
It's
Yeah.
A lot
and
of
no
people do,
shame.
though.
Yeah,
A
no
lot of
shame, no
people do, though.
judgment. Because
Right.
we've all been there.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, we have.
Right.
We've all been there.
Damn sure been there.
But whenever you hit that threshold, whenever you start taking action, like the more work you do, the better it pays off. Just like, you know, as expansive as your light and your shadows. So if you're in that fear state, if you're just frozen, you don't know how to move forward, you have to, you just gotta defrost. Defrost and figure it out. And that's really what quarantine has been, such a blessing. It's all about perspective. Quarantine has been a blessing because
a blessing.
I want to share this one part, like this significant detail that from before quarantine. But me and Kayla, we had just linked up for like this was before she started esthetician school. This was right when before CMOS, before all that. But this was in 2020. Right. This was in 2020, like maybe a month before everything happened. COVID, right? For the panty came in.
I ain't heard that one. I like that. Wow.
So before all that happened, Kayla and I, we just did lunch. At It's So Vegan. Mm-hmm. You gotta support. It's So Vegan. Black owned. It's in Grand Prairie. Black owned, vegan soul food. Right. Mm-hmm. It hits just like home. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We was tearing that food up.
But we had just had that reconnection where we were like catching up. Mm-hmm. We're just literally catching up. Cause life, and so she was like, yeah. I think I'm gonna take my CMOS business. Like, I'm gonna do it. Okay. She was like, her cute, like she's so cute. Like, I'm looking at her. She's cute. She's very cute.
Hey, you see her?
Making those decisions for herself and taking that.
That was the beginning, y'all.
Yeah. To just you have to decide you want to boss up. You have to decide.
Yeah, you got to. It's a decision.
Yes,
hey, every time.
It's a mindset. It's a shift. It's one day you wake up, you're like,
I'm gonna just do it. It's like, why am I not doing it? Let me just see how it goes. Like, let me try. You have to try. Yeah. You just gotta try. Yeah. Right. If it fails, you learn. Right. If it's abundant, keep that flowing.
Right. Yes. And for and that it's like, especially when the day you realize your purpose, then it's like almost like no fear. Right. You just going straight forward, like just pounding it, like you'll try anything.
Right. I was like,
It's like,
I got the LLC, and then I was like, dang. And then I was ready to apply to nursing school, and that's when I received that download, and I was like, wow, do I really want to go to nursing school when I completely changed my life? Because I committed to nursing before I was even conscious of a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So now here I was finna go into this commitment, and I didn't believe in that anymore. And so I decided, no, I'm going to continue to cultivate the lifestyle, my new lifestyle. Yes. And I was abundant. Right. So I was like, okay, what else did I want to do back in the day? But I still told myself I couldn't do it. Right. And I was nervous to do it. Right. And I was like, well, I've always wanted to go to esthetician school. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm going to do that. Right. And so I did that. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I finished, me and Mia received the same download. Hey, sis, let's open a holistic spa. And I said, yes, bro. Like, it's perfect. Like, that's what we do. This is our lifestyle. Yeah. Right. It's just
who we are.
Yes. And
it's just meant to be.
So beautiful. And that's why it flows, because it's just what we live by. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's so just a beautiful divine alignment, because this is like our true lifestyle.
We
this is what it's not even work.
It's not
even work. Like, this is just who we are.
Not work.
It's what we're passionate about. It's what we do.
And let me say this, like, listeners, and that's what it really is. You need to find something that you're compassionate about, something that you love, and make and somehow monetize that. Yeah. That's what it really is. We're not meant to be sitting at some fucking office desk being one out of billion people where the corporation doesn't care about us. We're sitting on the computer, typing in whatever bullshit that the company wants us to do. It's not life.
That's not
Life
what we're here
is
for.
doing something you thoroughly enjoy, doing something that you were put on this earth to do, and make a living out of it.
Living out your
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah,
And
living your
truly,
purpose.
truly, when you make that decision to just live out your purpose, it's money flows.
Yeah.
Money
And you don't
just
even
flows.
think about
You
it.
don't think
No.
about
You
it
don't
anymore.
even
It's
think
that
about
shift. It is that shift from, trying to survive in this matrix, trying to survive in this program of what we are essentially made out to do
Right.
as just humans. That's just what we are made out to do.
Right.
That's what they want us to do. They want us to take this step by step. You're supposed to graduate at 18, go straight into
College.
for your university
Right.
or college. You're supposed to know exactly what you want to do
Right.
Yeah.
right when you graduate.
At
How is that
18.
supposed to work? How is
Right,
it? How is,
especially with the
you
Right.
you can't get caught up in what they want you to do,
Right.
with
Yeah.
their opinions of what they think that you should do.
Yeah.
It's invalid.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Invalid.
very invalidating,
Mm-hmm.
and it can be very discouraging if your like systems in your program try to get you to do this certain program that your spirit's fighting out of. It's like every day, it's like you feel that higher calling, that light pulling you. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's been telling me. That's the opposite spectrum of like shadow work. That's light work.
Right.
Because when just as you have those shadows that are like picking at you, like, hey, you need to sit with me. Hey, you need to sit with me. Hey, you need to sit with me. Then there's the other side of that spectrum. It's like, hey, you need to you need to receive this light. Receive this
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
Receive this light.
Right.
Receive the light and shine.
Yeah.
Shine in that light. So that way your vibrational purpose, your purpose will find you.
Right.
You have to shine. You have to be what you want.
Right.
You
Yeah.
literally have to be what you want to attract.
Right.
Yeah.
and
That-
you will.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Law
and
of
you
attraction,
will.
ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Yes, you have to be what you want to attract. That is
Yeah.
through reminder. That's maintenance. It's taking care of your energy. Self-care of your energy, self-care of your mind, self-care of your body, self-care of your health, self-care of everything that you do. Let that be in love towards yourself. Let it feed you love instead of letting these things feed you negativity.
Right.
Because what you feed yourself is either going to take you to the light or to that shadow. It either is or it isn't. It's very simple. There can be a gray, everything is in a spectrum,
Yeah.
but it either is or it isn't.
Right.
And so you have to just choose where do you want to be?
Yeah.
And if you're not there, how can you get yourself there?
Right.
Yeah.
What steps are you going to take to just move forward?
Right.
Whether
Yeah.
that be when I don't know what to do, I'm gonna take a hike. I'm gonna go run. I'm gonna exercise. I'm gonna do yoga. I'm gonna do something that like connects me to my creator,
Right.
so I can begin to just create.
Yeah.
Man,
Wow.
that was
Yeah, yeah.
good.
Like,
Yeah.
hell yeah. I mean, to that, like,
That's gonna be a clip.
yeah. Gotta be. Yeah. Gotta be.
Right.
Gotta be.
And essentially, like, because I wanted to tie that in and how.
There we go.
Deep breath.
She's channeling.
Yeah, it's about to
It's
come.
my inner child.
Right.
I was laughing at myself because I like low-key stuttered and I thought that was funny.
Right.
Instead of like judging myself of
Right.
like, oh, like whatever, however that's gonna sound or look, like, yeah, that was funny. I'm gonna laugh about it.
Right.
And that's that love, that's the self-love work.
Right. And that's a perspective. Too.
Yeah, just
It
taking
is
your
a
time with
perspective.
yourself. Yeah.
Yes, this is like truly like living in what you've been working in.
Right.
Because that shadow work is sows the seed. Is you gotta
does.
dig that
Right.
hole. You gotta dig that hole to plant that seed.
Right.
You have to let your tears of what you see fertilize that soil.
Right.
You know, We are truly creators in our own soul's garden.
Yes.
And it's so beautiful the things that we are able to create when we just take that time to just,
Yeah.
to make that plot on that land
Right.
that we own within ourselves.
Right.
Just plant the seed, take care of it, nurture it, whatever. That's that self-care. That's that self-love. You love what you are growing. And so when you just, I'm just taking care of it, making sure it's good. Oh, I'm going to cry sometimes because that's just how I'm watering myself.
Right. And that's how you got to look at it.
Yeah. You have to... Somebody out there needs to cry.
Right.
They need to cry. They need to let it go.
Release.
They just let it go, let it go, let it go. You just you're just gonna get so sick and tired of just how things been going, and that's okay. That breaking point is okay. It's normal. It's safe.
a breakthrough.
It's a breakthrough.
Right.
It's a breakthrough.
Right.
You gonna get through it.
Yeah.
You gonna get through it.
Absolutely.
You gonna get through it.
Yeah.
I promise. I promise. Look at me for an example.
Right. Right. And it just goes back to
I'm about to pee.
all right, you can go. Breaking the seal. But it really goes back on focusing on things that you're passionate about. Because you can't have that energy. The energy that you were explaining, you can't have that about some bullshit 9 to 5
No.
that you don't care about.
You cannot. That's where you literally there becomes a choice where you begin to rely on faith.
Yeah.
That seed is gonna grow.
Right.
Those roots are going to take care of me.
Right.
That is just because that's what we sow them seeds for.
Yeah.
For our legacy.
Right.
We sow them seeds in our soul's garden.
Right.
And let those seeds be very fruitful and abundant and rich, just so that way we can have a garden to give to our children, our great-grandchildren, and so on and so forth. Because we take the time to love ourselves and show up for ourselves.
Absolutely. It's well said. And it's actually in our genetic memory bank, because that's how our ancestors operated. That's why, like I was asking you earlier, why are you so fascinated with ancient Kemet, also known as Egypt? And the reason why is because, like, Egypt, they had the same type of perspective. Everything was spiritual, and they respected women as deities, and they lived in this cohesive understanding that everybody has an individual life purpose and a life journey that they have to go out on. I think a lot of people get focused on the wrong thing, like, oh man, so-and-so has this, so-and-so has that, I don't have this. But the simple fact of the matter is there's no one specific map to be successful, or there's no one specific map to be, your best person. Everybody has their own individual map. Mine could look like going from Florida to Mexico, and yours could be a straight line to Florida to Michigan, you know what I'm saying? But everybody has their own individual path, and that's what we have to understand.
And we have to accept that.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. You guys have been absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how long we'll be going, but this is probably one of our longest podcasts. I want you guys to plug in your business. Please tell the people where they can follow you at on Instagram. Please tell them where they can buy your products.
Okay, well, my name is Kayla, and my personal Instagram page is KMulti, KayMultii. That page, you will be connected to everything, my healing products and my esthetician page.
Nice. And you? Where can the people find you at? Where can they connect with you? Or your wonderful service that you provide to the local community?
And worldwide.
And worldwide. I'm sorry.
You can find me. I'm sorry, I just had.
No, you snap.
No, let them know. Let them know. Yeah, fuck
worldwide.
that. Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram at Mia Moore, which is MIAMOUR.
Okay.
And from there, you can find my personal healing page.
Wait, there's a dot. You gotta tell them about the dot.
Okay.
M dot.
M.
Oh, so let's scratch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it again.
No. Reverse.
You can find me on Instagram on My personal page.
And
You're saying like, do y'all really?
nah, you got it. You got it. You got it. Nah, we gonna. Hey, listen, you gotta. You'll find her. She'll find you. Listen,
You can always find me in the light
yeah.
Ooh, she sound right there.
on Instagram or Twitter. My Instagram is Mia Moore. That's M. Period. There's a dot.
Yeah.
Period. IAMOUR.
Yes.
And you can also find me on Twitter where I speak. That is Euphemia Speaks.
Hey.
You'll know when you know.
Right. Well, also on this CAPS episode 64, conscious viewers, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the show. We're at 3.2 downloads, which is absolutely tremendous. We love you guys. The support is absolutely insane. Got some special things coming, like I'm not even gonna say it, but just know we got some special things coming.
Exclusive.
So, exclusive. Yes. All right.
Like, yeah.
All right. We love you guys. Mwah.
Much love.
Cringe.
Thank you.